All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
Folks, what actually happens when the doomers, the grifters, the lib media goons, competitors who just hate my guts and others, we are definitely public enemy number one, 100%. If there was a public enemies list for people out there, this show, what has two thumbs, public enemies number one? This dude right here, this guy, 100%. Because they hate it when you just tell the truth. No, I mean it, like when you actually put their own words out there. So what does it actually look like when you catch a lot of these goofball goons, losers, commies, tyrants, and fascists? What does it look like when they tell the truth? I don't know if it's accidental or if they've come to a conclusion that lying to people about things, I don't know, but I'm going to show you today. What does it look like when these goofballs tell the truth? And this is why they hate this show so much. They can't stand it. It drives them freaking bananas. I've never seen anything like it. We got douche canoes coming out left and right with their bullshit. And it's like they cannot keep my name out of their mouths. They can't. They're like obsessed with this show. Little old Dan. It's weird. Like, I don't even know who half these people are. It's because we keep kicking their ass and they just don't like it. And we were able to do things results-wise they still haven't been able to do, including a huge live stream, which drives them crazy. I'll get to this at the end of the show, why a live stream matters. You may say, like, who cares about any of that? No, ladies and gentlemen, the future of content delivery and political opinion shows like this one, the future is digital. Okay, it is. There's a lot of cord cutting going on. It doesn't mean cable news is going to disappear. A lot of it's going to migrate in a digital format. How you can hold a live audience is going to matter. There's a financial reason. A lot of these big companies that run these things are businesses. They need to make money to stay alive. We need to make money to stay alive too. Not to the degree they do. We're a lean operation. Live streaming, a live audience is going to mean everything. I'll tell you why towards the end of the show. I'm not trying to tease it. It's going to filter into this whole thing about why this show is so destructive to them. All we do is put the truth out there and they hate it. All right, big show for you today. Hey, making and getting your prescriptions getting easier with All Family. Make your prescription getting easier with All Family Pharmacy. Spit it out, Dan. I use All Family Pharmacy whenever I go on a boat trip. They sent me 2 packs, prescription meds. They were great. Love them. Physician review, fulfillment, and delivery all in one spot. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Save 10% with code Bongino10. Prescription provided if appropriate. Allfamilypharmacy.com. Promo code Bongino10. Pick them up today. Make getting your prescriptions easier. Today's show also brought to you by Brickhouse Nutrition. My original sponsor. They've been with me, 7 years now, maybe more. I love them. I needed to lose some lbs after the cancer treatment. It was shockingly under the chemo. I'd been eating a lot of not great foods because, you want to eat stuff that tastes good. So I gained a couple lbs. I was about 238. Wasn't looking good. Didn't like it. My joints were starting to hurt. I called up Miles from Brickhouse. I said, Miles, he runs Brickhouse Nutrition. You got to get me a product that's going to help me drop some lbs. I didn't lose some weight. He said, Dan, I got something for you. Lean, Lean, Lean. I always turn it right. Lean. There you go. You can see that. There's my bottle right there. Those weight loss injections, they're everywhere. Here's the catch. About 15% of users quit because of costs, sometimes because of side effects. A while back, I needed to drop some pounds. I chose Lean from Brickhouse Nutrition. Here's why. Weight loss shots help by controlling blood sugar and appetite, so you eat less. There's no argument. Shots can work for many people. It's pretty clear. But Lean was doctor formulated to do similar things naturally. Lean helped tackle my hunger, helped support steady energy. I love the product without constant cravings. I wound up losing well over 30 pounds at one point. And Lean did something injections don't. It helped turn my body fat into energy, so I burn fat instead of storing it. I got leaner. My joints feel better now. My favorite part, Lean is a nutritional supplement, not a shot, no prescription, no needles. I lost weight with Lean. You can too. Product works. I get questions about it all the time. It is effective. Go to brickhousenutrition.com/Dan, brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan for 20% off. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. Products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It's not a substitute alternative for care from a healthcare provider. Try out Lean. Been great for my joints and everything else. While we're on topic of joints, though, this week, sorry, bell, guys. I missed the bell myself. I had a little party for Paula. Worked out great. Paula did great work. Jasmine helped us out a lot. Great party. But I woke up Saturday morning, and usually I feel pretty good for an old 51-year-old guy who's like a rotting sack of meat at this point. Really, everything's broken. I haven't treated my body particularly well over the years between all the contact sports and crap. You know, you think I made a professional career out of this, right? No, I didn't even get paid for destroying my own body. So I'm usually getting by. But I wake up Saturday morning, and no, it wasn't because it was like a particularly intense Friday night party, but I'm old, like 11:30 we wrap up. Everybody, all my friends are old too. I don't hang out with 20-year-olds, you know? So, except one, my daughter's ex-boyfriend. He was a nice guy. He joined us for the party too. They love their parents, so. But I woke up and my back was killing me. Have you ever had your back lock up? Anyone in the chat? I've never had this happen before. Now, I had a spinal injury, a disc injury. That was different. That I actually blew a disc. But if you guys ever had, they're too young. The whole crew here is like, this is like, these guys are, I don't even know if they're drinking age, half these guys in the studio. They look so young. I mean, I don't ask them their age. I don't even know. And I had to fill out a job application. Jasmine deals with it all. I've never had my back lock up, ever. It's the worst thing ever. The worst freaking thing ever. You can't even move. I go to my doctor friend, thank you, Steve, gives me some anti-inflammatory, like powerful stuff. And I woke up today and felt better. But holy Moses, did that hurt. Is this just an old guy thing? Folks in the chat, wait. Yeah, mine is locked up right now. JDog3325. Bro, I feel for you. I've never experienced this. It totally sucked. I couldn't sleep. Paula was like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. I usually just lie because I don't want anyone to feel bad, especially my daughter. Daddy, are you okay? You know what? Your daughter, oh, that'll be fine. This is me. What, guys? If I had video, I should me walking down the stairs. Here what? One. She's like, Dad, do you need help? No, Amelia, I'm okay. I'm okay. She's like, why is it taking you 10 seconds per step? I've really felt horrible. Give me this anti-inflammatory. I'm ready to go. I promise I feel good today. I told you guys I'd never do a show feeling like shit because if I do, then I don't want people to feel bad and to feel like, oh my gosh, and I feel great. It was the most amazing thing. Look, moving around. Hey, get back in the ring with Tyson tomorrow. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, no, there we go. We need the weekend update. I don't do those a lot. Okay, personal life, who gives a shit, right? But it was kind of funny. Folks, I'm asked a lot about my experience working in government and having gone back to work for the Trump administration for the first year. I'm often asked, hey, I heard you. I get this question a lot. We get it on DMs. We get it on email. People say, hey, I listened to you on your podcast with Sean Hannity. It's still up there. You can check it out. Hang out with Sean Hannity. He has a podcast. It's new. It's doing very well. And the show got something like 1,100,000 views, which was a lot, for a show. I mean, it was a pretty new show. But I was glad because Sean and I really, went at it for 2 hours. And I mean, like we asked all the stuff you'd wanted to know about. Sean asked. So in that episode, he asked me, like something to the effect of, what really keeps you up at night or things like that. And, I always say, well, not much keeps me up. I sleep okay. But what am I worried about? One of the things I'm worried about is if you think the weaponization of government was bad pre-Trump 47 presidency and during Trump 45's presidency, folks, the Democrats have now given up any pretense of pretending they care about good, decent, limited government. They don't. They are going to use the government for every bad thing possible going forward. And folks, you can fire as many people as you want. And believe me, we put up a lot of guardrails and did. 10% of the entire workforce at the FBI basically was terminated or left because they didn't like what we were doing there. You can look that up yourself. Again, I'm a results guy, not a bullshit guy like the zeros who pretend to be my critics. However, when a new government comes in the executive branch, a presidential election, folks, they can hire other people. And they're not lying anymore. This is why I opened up the show and said, what happens when commies tell the truth? Cue up that Hillary Clinton video. I want to show you what I mean. They are no longer running from this idea of weaponized goon government. The whole Communist Party model of using government to imprison and torture your enemies, basically. When Sean asked me, what keeps you up at night? I was like, you know what? The idea that they are going to try to put every single Trump administration official they can in prison. For what? For just being Trump administration officials, not because there's any violation of law. They can't do that. They've already tried it. What are you talking about? They've already done it. What do you mean? Here's Hillary Clinton sending a message with that hapless, worthless host, Kara Swisher, another idiot. Here she is on the show talking about how, hey, man, we're just going to hunt everyone down. I knew that. I went in and did my thing. You do it anyway. It's worth it for me. But we will all be hunted down. I promise you, every single one of us, because that's what they believe in and they're not hiding it. Check this out.
Clean up, fix things.
There's going to be
so much to fix. I mean, first, get rid of all of the holdovers. Do not let anybody hang around in some small office somewhere who can literally subvert your program, and you don't even know that person's there. And I will predict that, Trump and his minions are going to try to,
put people.
They're going to try to move people from political appointments to so-called civil service appointments, although they're trying to destroy the civil service. So people are going to have to be really searching to make sure that they are not going to be literally subverted from within the government.
That's a really good point.
That's a really good point. This is like... I can't with these people. This Swisher, who's like the biggest big government loon ever, along with her big government loon partner on this podcast, Hillary Clinton. They'd love to tell you like government's this force for good in your life. It's so benevolent. It's like a bunch of like, you ever see the play Annie growing up? It's like Daddy Warbucks. Oh, look, in the end, he's just trying to take care of Annie or whatever, despite being a little bit of a hard ass. Like that's their thing. And then they just tell you the truth. And notice what Hillary Clinton says, just in case you're confused. They're not just talking about principals, deputies, assistant directors in the Trump administration. Notice what she says. We need to look in those small offices there. Just to be clear, you're going to have some guy in like the Bureau of Indian Affairs who is a Trump appointee for, I don't know, like the administrative assistant in charge of like window washing, and that dude's going to find himself out of a job. Has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that they were appointed by Trump. These are the people who want you to believe that government is this force of, it's this positive, benevolent force. It's your big daddy Warbucks in life. It's going to take care. It's going to hug you like Fat Barney. Sharing is good. Fat Barney style. That's not what it is. It's Fat Barney grabbing you, like shanking you, like with a prison shank. Like that's what they do. Folks, again, they hate this show so much because I flip off the D-bags all the time and expose them. People try to come after, we bury them every time. The media people are people, and the goons on the progressive left hate us because I just use their own words every time. Do we not? When I wrote the book Spygate and Follow the Money about the Russia hoax, I cited left-wing sources in the footnotes who had written and bragged about their targeting of President Trump. That's why they hate this show. I'm not telling you others don't do it, but nobody uses the clips of them speaking like nobody. Here's another one. So just to be clear, like Trump fires people, the Trump administration, for incompetence and for allowing their political beliefs to infiltrate into their work. But he doesn't fire people for their political beliefs. Trump didn't come into office and demand right away that everybody be fired who didn't agree with him 100%. That's not what happened. But they want to do that. And then when we're asked really inconvenient questions about some other people they're running with who tell the truth, Hassan Piker, right. You see the Republicans pounce thing, guys, about Hassan Piker now? They don't want to talk. Hassan Piker, like the left is openly campaigning with this guy. In other words, they're saying our Democrat brand wants to associate with this freaking douche canoe, Piker, right? This guy is a complete life loser and a zero and a fraud. He's a pretty rich dude, too, talking about how evil rich people are. So whenever they're asked inconvenient questions like, hey, this guy's hijacking your brand, running with candidates while saying crazy shit about bathing streets in blood, deserving 9/11, like maybe you should detach him from your brand. This is the answer you get from party elders and leaders. Here's a Hillary Clinton acolyte, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Worthless. Here she is. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Watch the way they duck inconvenient questions when confronted with the truth instead of just taking it head on and growing some balls. Check this out.
Now that he is the nominee and now that he will be the focus nationally, I think, for Republicans, what do you want to hear from Abdul al-Sayed heading into November?
I honestly, I'm not thinking about what I want to hear from Abdul Sayed because I represent a congressional district in Florida.
The guy's running with Hassan Piker like they appear together. Dude, they had a pool party like a couple days before the primary when Abdul Sayed, a fascist communist nutjob who just won the Democrat primary for the United States Senate in Michigan. What does that have to do with me, Dan? It has to do with everything. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is Jewish. She represents a huge Jewish population. These guys are open anti-Semites. Oh, I don't know. It's your job to know, bro. It's your job to know. Where does Debbie Wasserman Schultz work? Justin's like the House of Representatives. Representing who? You. It's her freaking job to know. Folks, when you hear people on cable news and elsewhere, these liberal commentators duck the question, I'm just running on my own district. Really? Because you'll comment on anything else outside of your district. You'll comment on a Republican congressman in East Tunafish if he says something you don't like, but you won't comment on running with open anti-Semites in a Jewish district? Like, well, why would you not? I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. Here's Ilhan Omar. I mean, the brother and all that whole thing. When we say bro with Ilhan Omar, it means something different, bro. It's not BRUH. This is like bro. Like, would you look it up if you missed it? Ilhan Omar's asked this same question. The difference is, that's why I titled the show this, sometimes the commies and the fascists and the Jew haters and evangelical haters and Protestant haters, because they're all in the same bucket, destroy you. Sometimes they actually tell the truth. She's asked the question about Piker, Sayed, this whole thing, like this flourishing anti-Semitism, this crazy, suicidal nonsense going on in their party. The difference is Omar actually tells the truth. She's too stupid not to. Check this out.
The left-wing streamer Hassan Piker, he's someone that you've campaigned alongside with. He put out a video backing your reelection today. There are moderate Democrats who have criticized Abdul Sayed for appearing on the campaign trail with him. What's your view of that criticism?
I mean, people, in a free country, people can have opinions about people who campaign with candidates. I certainly had my own criticisms. And so everybody's trying to do the best that they can to try to get their message out and campaign with whoever that they think can help them do that. Sometimes not everybody's going to agree the kind of messagery that you use, but it's ultimately the decisions that campaigns have to make.
Yes. By the way, obviously there's a jump cut in there. The context is the same. It's just in the interest of time. No deception intended. We're always candid about that. Yes, everybody has an opinion. Just a newsflash. Human beings have opinions. So she gives you a tautology and pretends it's like informed commentary. We know everybody has opinions. We get that. Why are you saying something that's tautologically true? That's not breaking news. It's like when people say, like, the youth are out tomorrow. Yes, we get that. That's not some profound breaking news insight. We're asking you for your opinion about a guy who is running with candidates from your party. She's not running as an independent, correct? Ilhan Omar is a Democrat. You are running under a party brand, like a clubhouse. That brand has values. That's why people vote for it. You don't have to like the values, just like Democrats don't have to like Republican values. Republicans don't have to like Democrat values. And even Democrats can object to Republican values. We objected to the Republican Party becoming like Democrats and had the Tea Party revolution. We're asking you for your opinion, bro. If you get what I mean, you're in the House of Representatives representing between 700,000 and 800,000 people in your state. We're asking you for your opinion because people have to vote for you every year. We'd like to know how you feel about running with openly anti-Semitic people who think we deserve 9/11. Pretty fair freaking question when you're voting on national security issues. Did we all deserve to die on 9/11? Did we? Fair question, right? What about this opinion? I found this little gem. There's a ton of Hassan Piker. I know, libs, Republicans pounce. I get you don't want to talk about it, liberal media people. That's why you hate this show so much, because we don't stop, and we have a huge live stream that gets this message out while you idiots try to sweep it under the rug. We're not doing that here. I found this gem by Piker, too. He's asked, about his favorite flag. I don't know about you, Jess. I have a favorite flag. You might have heard of the American. Yeah, it's right behind it. It's not a hard answer. What's your favorite flag? And just put your favorite flag in the chat, folks. We'd love to see it. I know where this is going because I know who you are. Why is that my favorite flag? Because I don't care about the fabric. There we go. Look at that chat. You're damn right. I don't care about the fabric. I don't care if it's made from a tablecloth. I care about what that flag represents. I care about all of our forefathers and ancestors who had a vision. Look at that. Tear it up in that chat. You're damn right. Nobody moves a chat like that except you. You, not me. I can only post one here. I'll do it now. I'll post one. I'll put me. Justin, throw an American flag in the chat. The only reason I didn't put that is the emoji thing. I got to. There you go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Pretty simple, right? What's your favorite flag? America, because it's the greatest country on earth. Not free of sin, but we have always moved in a better direction and sacrificed blood to make sure this was the freest place on earth. They asked Hassan Piker the same. He's gotten very wealthy off the American freedom model, very wealthy. But he doesn't want that success for you. His answer is really interesting about his favorite flag. Check this out.
Let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, overall, what my favorite flag?
Yeah.
Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
I don't know flags.
It's this is a.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave.
What?
My favorite flag.
It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding it up.
Wow, son.
Or
We might have to cut this.
We're behind the paywall. It's fine.
Josh is giving me the. Folks, that's why I titled the show today, Josh, is it making sense now? Sometimes they accidentally tell you the truth. Sometimes they tell you the truth. Hezbollah, you mean the terror group responsible or associated with the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, many Americans in there? That group, that's your favorite flag. You couldn't even say, bro, you couldn't even say like Sweden or Norway. Like just say something like crazy, but just, it's not America, but it's, no, Hezbollah. What's that? Japan. Yeah, Japan's got a pretty cool flag. Like at least, but if you're going to be an anti-American asshole, like there are levels of stupid answers, right? Like a level 10 stupid answer is like, yeah, the terror group that kills Americans, they tell the truth. And did you notice something? One, the other lady on the panel, she takes the Debbie Wasserman Schultz approach. Did you see it? She goes, yeah, I don't know flags. Do you know Hezbollah? You probably shouldn't be doing a podcast with a political commentator if you don't know what Hezbollah is. Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. And then the other guy goes, we may have to cut this. Why would you say? Well, I don't understand why you would say that. Why would you have to cut it if it wasn't effing crazy? Folks, sometimes they tell you the truth. Again, that's why they hate us and they hate you. That chat thing you just did with the American flag, they can't do that. They don't have the listeners. They don't have the loyalty to this republic. And they don't understand a lot of these media outlets, competitors and others, who relentlessly just obsess over everything we do here. They don't understand the difference between followers and a base. A lot of people have followers, but they don't have a base of people who aren't going anywhere. We do, but the reason we do is we all, in this family we've created here, we share a set of values, and loving this country is number one. We joke about things like don't get dead and all that stuff, but the number one requirement to be part of this family is you got to love this country and believe in it and be willing to fight for it and make it better. These people on the left hate it, folks. So do the doomers, so do the grifters, so do the zeros. Nobody hates them more, however, than the liberal media. The liberal media hates everything about this place. Sometimes they tell the truth, too. You guys know Dancing Justin? Like Justin Dancing? No, not this Justin. This Justin Pearson guy running for, is he running for Congress in Tennessee? This guy, that's him. That's actually him. It's quite a dance right there. Be careful. That's going to hurt your knees, especially in those leather-soled shoes. Justin, I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just trying to... Do you think I don't know. The real Justin thinks they're pleather. I have no idea. I can't ask him for a DNA analysis of the shoes, but he's got to be really careful. He's going to blow out his knees doing that. There's Dancing Justin Pearson. He's running for Congress in Tennessee. Another guy, by the way, we have to include. Andy, you're good at this. You know our voices of Dems, how they always change their voices? Kamala Harris. Yes. Justin Pearson does. Can we include him? Can you do one of this? Justin Pearson's done this too. I promise you'll find it. This guy's another one that changes. I love when they change the way they talk. Listen, the one thing about this show is I find it, real Justin, wouldn't you agree? I find it difficult to change the way I talk, and that's why the cursing comes out to me. The Queens, I can't get it out of me. I'm sorry. Sometimes I drop it. I shouldn't say this, but even at the FBI, I'd drop an F-bomb in a meeting when I was getting heated, and I'd see some people look like, I'm not telling you it's a good thing. Some people would recoil in horror. It's just, I don't change the way I talk. I'm trying. But here's Dancing Justin again. He's asked the question about ICE. And notice how he characterizes ICE as murderers. He goes, again, of all the answers, 1 to 10, 10 being the dumbest, he goes right there. He doesn't say, hey, I have some trouble with use of force situations of federal law enforcement and ICE. I think the government should provide more oversight. He couldn't have said something less insane. He goes right to Hezbollah flag piker level. Yeah, they're murderers. Listen, we just used their own words. Check this out.
In the wake of just the reality that the president has created his own murderous task force in our city that's killed 4 black men. The ICE agents are separating families and communities, and people do not want to live in a country where everything is to the benefit of those at the top and everything else hurts the rest of us working class people.
Again, in this guy's brain, he's got a portfolio of answer 1 through 10, 1 being the least insane. They go right to 10 because sometimes the commies actually tell you the truth when they're not dancing. He dances, but he wasn't dancing on that. Yeah, they're murders. Meaning what? No, meaning what? To the leftist and lib media goons who listen to the show, what does that mean? Because murder, Justin's a crime, correct? Homicide, right? So if they're murderers, meaning what? They would have to be prosecuted and thrown in jail, correct? That's it. If ICE are all the murderers, does that mean the partner is an accessory to murder, should be put in jail too? And should everybody else be charged with obstructing the investigation into the murders? I'm just asking where this goes when you accidentally tell the truth. But that's a great question. What if there was no jail? It's almost like there's a clip coming up later. But how did he know that? How did he know that? It's crazy. The real Just, because he's not dancing. He's actually doing the show.
I don't know flags.
You got to keep that. If you're ever wondering how we find crazy shit that becomes like a P1 element, that if you're not at the show that day when it happens, like that just happened, it'll never make sense later. If you're a P1, you get all of this stuff. How the Festa drink or whatever the hell it is back there get in the show. You had to have been there because I can't repeat it again. It was like when Rush did that thing that time about Rio Linda. You had to catch it the first time. He didn't explain it over and over again. He just kept saying Rio. He assumed you knew. Now you know. I don't know flags. I know I love this show. And you too. There's nothing I love more. All right, quick break, and I want to show you coming up next. This is my favorite clip. This is actually what inspired me to title the show this. Al Sayed, the commie in Islamophonatic up and running in Michigan for the U.S. Senate. He was asked a question by Kirsten Welker, and I was watching this. I swear to you, Kirsten Welker is another liberal over at NBC. I swear I expected him to do the Justin dance. because nobody ever answers this question honestly. If you missed this clip, this should be a ideological break glass moment for moderate Democrats. I'm the lefties, you love this stuff. For moderate Democrats. I'll show you what I mean coming up in a second. I'm serious. This is an important clip. He told the truth. I couldn't believe it. I was like sitting there stunned. Oh my gosh, he didn't dance. Hey, let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. They shake your hand, they get their commission, and that's it. You don't hear from them again until it's renewal time. Well, that's not how your business runs, right? Your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risks. That's why I'm introducing you to Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is the super agency built for you. Licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and for your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts that translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth and know what needs protecting. Cool tools. Go to supersure.com/Bongino. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies, one place. That's supersure.com/Bongino. Check it out today. Supersure.com/Bongino. Consult with a licensed insurance producer to discuss coverage options for your specific business needs. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. Thank you, Supersure. Here is the clip I was talking about. I'm going to tell you something. I haven't seen a guy, a mainstream political figure, and I don't mean mainstream in ideology, I mean mainstream in position. In other words, a guy who's running for dog catcher may have said this, but someone running as a U.S. Senate nominee for the Democrats. I haven't seen someone answer a question about hiking middle-class taxes like this since I was 10 and Walter Mondale was running for the Democrats and got blown out. Usually when they're asked about paying for things, the Democrats say, oh, the rich, whatever. Not this one. Watch this clip. This is what inspired me to title this show. I can't believe he told the truth. Check this out.
To be very clear, you're describing this trade-off. You are effectively acknowledging that people making less than $1 million could see their taxes go up. I just want to be very clear. Is that a yes?
I'm saying that we'd be paying for healthcare in a different way. Instead of paying a health insurance company whose CEO makes $20 million, I would much rather pay for durable healthcare into a government, which, of course, we all know provides healthcare for seniors who need healthcare the most. So if I'm trading paying a CEO to make more money or paying government to guarantee me healthcare, I'm picking the latter every time.
Holy Moses, he told the truth. He told, finally. Folks, El Sayed, here's my non-professional diagnosis of El Sayed. El Sayed is an egomaniac. No, that he is. This guy is an egomaniac. He really believes like he can say crazy shit and through the power of his unbelievable persona and charisma, he'll get you to forget what he just said. He's finally telling the truth that the reason government healthcare doesn't work is because, number one, the government doesn't give a shit about your healthcare. Well, either do the insurance companies. Folks, fair enough, there's a third-party principal agent issue with governments and insurance companies. The difference is you can trade your insurance company for a new one when they do things that suck, and it happens. The difference here is if you're a shareholder of an insurance company that's doing shitty things and your product is terrible, you can move to have the CEO removed. None of that happens in the government. When your health insurance, this is the hard answer every Republican should give. When your government health care sucks, you are screwed. There is nowhere to go. You can't swap your government for like another government. Well, we're going to swap the U.S. government for Sweden. It doesn't work that way. You're effed. That's why people in government healthcare typically hate it, or even if they say they don't hate it, they act like they hate it. Tens of thousands of Canadians pay ridiculous taxes for government healthcare and then cross the border to pay for it again in the United States in their healthcare tourism. People in the UK die all the time on waiting lists. Oh, Dan, but it's great in Sweden. Is it? Let's go to ChatGPT. I don't know, folks. We like to incorporate AI into the show. because AI is supposed to be some unbiased super intelligence, correct? So ChatGPT is not some conservative, leaning outlet. I just put this in there. Why is Sweden moving towards, and you can put the same question if you think I made up the answer or something. Why is Sweden moving towards a more free market healthcare system? Here's the answer. Sweden's not abandoning universal tax-funded healthcare, but it's been incorporating more market mechanisms, private providers, patient choice, competition, and payment following the patient. The main reason is fairly practical. Sweden struggled with waiting times, access, continuity of care, and efficiency, despite spending heavily on healthcare. Then it goes over the long waits, all of the problems they have. You can look this up yourself. You don't have to ask me. You got ChatGPT, Anthropic, you got Google Gemini, you've got Grok, which we really love, Elon's platform. You've got so many. You can try it yourself. You can try an open source model and ask the same question. Even the countries you claim to love, Sweden, Norway, are finding that government paying for healthcare doesn't work because government bureaucrats don't give a shit about your healthcare. They don't even want to be in their own healthcare system. The congressional members and the Senate members, remember, they didn't even want Obamacare for themselves. Obamacare ran on, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. I thought they hated insurance companies. Obama ran on that. If you like your insurance plan, which many people did, you could keep it. And then they got their insurance canceled and people were pissed. Why would they be pissed? I thought you wanted to be on government health care. You can fire the CEO. You can fire your insurance company. I'm not telling you it's easy, that insurance companies always do. Of course, there's a profit motive. But you act like the government's full of angels. The government has no motive for anything. The government's motive is to take your money and ignore you. It's what they do on everything. They took your money for Social Security and spent it. That's why there's no money left. People hate when I say that. Wait till tomorrow's show. When I show you an article by the Washington Post, hates my guts. Not all of them, but a lot of them. The Washington Post is now acknowledging what I've been telling you for years. You guys all right? Like a SWAT team leaving the studio. Andy came out like tactical, like this. I'm like, what's going on here? Even the Washington Post is now telling you what I told you. The government stole your money for Social Security, made a bunch of promises, and then pissed it down a toilet bowl. People tell me all the time, I paid in, I deserve it. Correct. I'm not, no one's point stipulated. We both win because you're correct. You did pay in and you do deserve your money back. That doesn't absolve me of telling you the truth, that the government wasted it. There's no money there. Even the Washington Post is trying to warn people. I'm just trying to help you by telling you the hard truth. Folks, the commies they're at the doorstep. The break glass moment is here. This is the clip non-dancing Justin, the real Justin, was talking about before. What are you going to do with all these people, all these government, all these Trump 47 officials you want to put in jail? ICE murderers, air quotes, you want to put in jail? All these healthcare employees they want to put in jail, Justin, where are they all going to go? You want to see the stupidity? That was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because it wasn't even in the show making that connection, but he's right. You want to see the stupidity of the commie fascist socialists and their doomer buddies trying to destroy the United States? They always say shit when they tell the truth that makes absolutely no sense. Here's, is this Francis Gill, one of these national Democrat socialists? The Democrats are begging these people to stay off the news. She's asked a simple question, like the news reporter, doesn't seem like some big conservative dude either. He's like, hey man, if my daughter got raped or something, God forbid, who shows up? The social worker? Oh, because I'd really like that person who did that to be put in jail. Pretty common sense, right? What jails are you going to put these Trump administration people and the rapists are, though, if you don't believe in jails? Sometimes they tell the truth. Check this out.
That DSA takes. Let's talk about some of them. Your policy agenda on law enforcement is to defund police, ultimately to get rid of police departments, correct?
Well, what I would say is that we're dramatically overspending on police right now.
I understand, but the goal is to defund the police departments so we don't need them in the future.
I think it's what we really want to see is a horizon where folks are not reliant on armed enforcement to meet our public safety needs.
Right. But it says defund police on the website. That's your goal. And also to get rid of prisons and jails, correct?
Yes.
So if my daughter is assaulted and raped, is there any agency that would seek to find her assailant and bring him to justice?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
What
Absolutely.
would it be if not police, and where would he be if not a jail?
So I guess I really want to avoid getting kind of caught into these hypotheticals and talk more about the reality that we're actually facing right now, which is that we're spending absolutely outrageous amounts of money on police and policing, and we're not spending money on things that actually make people safe and feel safe, which is things like actually well-lit streets. The streetlights in Los Angeles, everybody agrees it's a huge problem.
Gosh, this is not funny. So why? Because I can't help it. I told you I don't like giving blood.
I don't know flags.
I don't know flags. Play it again, please. I love this. This is like my new.
I don't know
flags. Whenever I go to give Jasmine's laugh because I can't give blood. I hate it. I don't know what it is. I don't care about anything else. I can't give. So I start to laugh because it's an uncomfortable thing. You're gonna pass. I never pass out. But I have to. It's the only response I have to this stupidity. Whenever you ask one of these socialist, fascist, Islamo-Nazis or any of these a-holes running for major positions, Senate, Congress, the DSA wants to take over the Democrat platform, a basic, simple question about a solution to a problem, you state a law enforcement's no good. Okay, what's your... Have you ever seen Tommy Boy, that movie with Chris Farley? What's your theory? Okay, what's your theory? Streetlights? What the... I'm sorry, language alert, guys. Jasmine saw a scene this weekend at the park. Jasmine, did you not? Jasmine's great. You know what I love about Jasmine? She's like, I don't see nothing. She saw a scene at the park. The Queens came out in me. It happens. What the fuck? My daughter's raped. The lady's talking about streetlights. Sorry. The guy's like, what happens if my daughter's raped? I think we should put more streetlights. What? I don't know, flags. This is... Remember that tweet we put up on last week's show? Was it from Stephen Moore, whatever it was? That you pay more in taxes to support government at the federal, state, and local level than you do for anything else in your life. Food, rent. Your biggest expense in your life is taxes. So God forbid a family member of yours is tragically raped. I'm only going by the question. And the answer of the socialists is, I think we should invest in LED bulbs and streetlights. What the... I can't. And then notice the distraction. She gives the Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'd rather not talk about that. I'm sure you wouldn't. I'm sure you wouldn't. When you're asked an actual question about what Tommy Boy, like, what's your thing? Andy, you got to pull that. That's like, there's a scene in Tommy Boy where Chris Farley's like, I've mentioned it 1,000 times. I don't think we've what's your theory? They don't have a theory. Their theory is take your money and use it and shove it up your... That's it. They want your money to enrich themselves, enrich their government buddies, and control your life. That's it. There's no theory. To the young kids out there falling for this, I love you. You're welcome. I'm not mad at you. You've been indoctrinated into this crap your whole life. I'm just telling you, like, there's no theory there. They prove it to you. I don't know, flags. That's their theory. That's it. Thank you, guys. If you're missing the Rumble live stream, you got to get in. A scarecrow police light. That's what they want. Folks, we only have to use their own words. That's it. We only have to use their own words. Here's a devastating ad against El Sayed. Why am I playing? I'm not going to play the whole thing. We have to jump cut her. It's like 2 minutes. You don't need to see the whole thing. You've already seen half this guy's crazy shit in Michigan. Why am I playing this? Again, I'm only telling you what they're already trying to tell you. We want to take more of your tax money, dramatically more, middle-class folks and everyone, to steal your health care plan they told you they could keep. Obama ran on that. If you like your plan, you could keep it. That's like their Messiah, small g God. El Sayed say, no, you can't keep it. We're going to tax you more to steal your insurance plan. All you have to do is play their own words. I don't know flags. Just play their own words. Bro, Ilhan Omar, just play their own words. This is a pretty devastating ad drop they put out. This is good stuff because it's only him talking about stupid shit. Check this out.
I believe that we do need to defund the police. I actually believe in court reform, right? In Supreme Court reform. Every president should get 3 appointments. You can either use your appointment to give somebody who's on the court a second 10-year term and limit everybody's terms to 10 years, or you can include somebody else. Would that expand the court? Sure. But there's nothing in the Constitution that says that there have to be 9 justices. And like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page. But then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model. I think that the foundational issue here is we need to start taxing billionaire wealth, right? And when you tax billionaire wealth, you disincentivize the accumulation of wealth. If you cannot stand for trans rights, do not be surprised when they come for your rights. I look forward to pushing forward legislation that would preempt localities from participating with ICE. We've also got to make sure that in this state, we are not discriminating by documentation status. Right now, if you're undocumented, you don't get access to a driver's license. So you're stuck. You don't get access to a lot of the basic things the state offers everybody else. And I think that's ridiculous. And so we've got to stop discriminating that way.
There is no reforming. There is no retraining. There is only abolishing ICE.
Fuck ICE.
Guy leaned out a little bit. Oh, he hitting the gym or whatever. So he wants to pack the Supreme Court. If you have any objection to LGBTQIA identity politics shoved down your throat and an attack on your religious beliefs too, then you don't get rights either. There'll be no cooperation with ICE, so your communities are going to be overrun by illegals. There's nothing you can do. We're just playing the guy's own words, man. He's going to dramatically vote to hike your middle-class taxes to steal your insurance plan. This guy is just like a gift to the Republican Party.
I guess that's your theory.
That's it. I knew I'd like this guy when I hired him. Nobody finds as fast as this cat. I guess that's my favorite line. I guess that's yes, that's their theory. They never have an answer for it. My daughter's gonna, if she was raped, what are you going to do about defunding the police? Yeah, we'll put a street light up. It doesn't really help after the raping. Like, I thought the problem is the raping, not the street light. Josh, correct? Like, the problem's the raping? Remember that? That's a P. No. There was, remember Christopher Wray? P1s, help me. He was asked some question up at Congress. Was it Christopher Wray or some FBI guy? And they were like, well, that doesn't happen in the dark or something like that. Like, these are the answers these people give. The raping is the problem. That's the thing. Oh, my gosh. Folks, sometimes they tell the truth. Listen, this isn't like a sports show. It's not my thing. I love sports. I think it's good for communities, people to get together. People attack sports all the time. I don't buy that bullshit. You go to an Auburn game with a bunch of patriots who love the country, who are like, hugging you on a touchdown. You never even met this guy or woman before. Like, everybody, they get off your phones and enjoy community once in a while. I love sports, but I got to tell you, like, I'm not the most informed sports commentator. Not like I don't know flags lady. However, that's why I don't talk. I try not to like talk about stuff that I'm not. Like, I couldn't tell you the starting roster for the Yankees anymore, even though I grew up a Yankees fan. And I just don't know.
I don't know flags.
I know you don't. And I don't know sports that well. However, this story was everywhere. And I just have to make a comment on this because I did know a lot about sports growing up. Especially the NBA. I'm a huge NBA fan, but the WNBA is just assassinating their brand. I've never seen anything business-wise so stupid as the way the WNBA has handled Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. So in case you missed this little clip, I had tip at ESPN on this. Sophie Cunningham is this player. She's taken a stand for women's rights in sports, and she gets attacked by, what's this lady, Dejanay Carrington? I mean, just like assaulted. taken out, of course, because God forbid you have an opinion in the WNBA. Now, the only reason I even bring this thing up, come back to me here, and you probably saw the clip. The only reason I bring it up is let me say what I don't have a problem with. I grew up with the NBA. The NBA I grew up with, I loved. If you got in the paint in the NBA in the Bill Laimbeer Detroit Piston era, who in the chat knows what I'm talking about? Justin wasn't even born yet when that was going on. Bill Laimbeer and those Pistons, Detroit Pistons from the day, Charles Oakley and the Knicks, whoever it may be, forget it. You were getting crushed. I have no problem with aggressive play. I actually wish we would go back to the old NBA. Now it's like you breathe on a guy, he flops, and it's like technical foul, 47 free throws. You're like, what kind of bullshit game is this? I'd love to go. I have no problem with Dejounte Carrington knocking someone's head off in the paint. I don't. So damn, why are you talking about it? Because sometimes they tell the truth. All she had to say. We had this conversation in the little bubble there with the crew this morning. All this lady had to say is like, hey, I play rough, whatever it happened. Most people would have suspected an agenda, but they would have been like, whatever. It wouldn't have been like a huge global story. That's not what she said. She came out on Threads and made absolutely clear what was going on afterwards, the lady who tried to decapitate Sophie Cunningham. You're like, Dan, that's you. Yeah, well, that's my response. She said, all caps, just in case you missed it. White privilege, Indiana Fever, which is the team Sophie Cunningham plays for. I responded, asshole privilege, with the finger emoji down. She's just telling you the truth. Why would you watch that? Why would you watch that? You don't have to be white, Asian, Jewish, Muslim to take offense at, wait, so you tried to decapitate her because she's white and you think she's privileged? You even said Indiana Fever. All you had to do was shut up. And they couldn't even do that. It's like El Sayed. They can't shut up. They are proud of being stupid. I don't know, Flex. That's their theory. They've told you their theory. That's it. That was the day. Is that the campaign? That's the day. See, I didn't know sports back in the day. You do. But listen, you're like, what are you, 21 or something? I don't know. How old are you now? 24? All right, close enough. I don't know. I got to keep a bio sheet. I just hang out with the guy. I don't know. Oh, my gosh. I take Justin on this plane. He cracks like a whiskey. I'm like, bro, you can't do that. He's like, I'm like 23 or whatever. I'm like, that doesn't matter. I knew you when you were younger. Okay. He's like, well, a lot of people knew you when you were younger too. You're not like locked in at a moment in time. I'm like, you are for me. Yeah, he remembers that to this day. The look of horror on my face. I'm like, I do not support underage drinking. He's like, great, I'm not underage. It's not even close. I'm like, you are to me. I'm sorry. You were interning here when you weren't 21. I'm like, I can't have that. This poor guy. He's like locked in time. Andy's like, I'm glad I started when I was above the age of 21. Listen, man, that clip is important because again, they're telling you why this brand is going to kill itself. This should be roundly condemned. The woman should be suspended. She's making a racial argument over a basketball foul. How? She did it herself. This stuff, man. Folks, listen, one of the reasons, again, I've told you over and over, like people really, me and you too, like trust me, they hate the Bongino army too. They cannot stand that this show has a huge live stream audience. It drives them bananas because it counteracts their telling you a story rather than the story. We tell you the story, not a story. There's a difference. A story is jaded by your political biases and elsewhere. Everyone has them. However, we play their own words, and it drives all of these people nuts. I saw this guy this morning, another one. We're going to have to add this guy to our villains list of douchebags. We have like a wall of zeros. You know, some people have a wall of heroes with heroes. We have the villain roster and the wall of zeros. We're going to have to make, you got Fugazi on there, the other bag, of course, the cat lady. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but on Haley's set, Justin, the cat lady figurine there, action figure, is falling down. And you can't have that. The cat lady, we have vanquished a lot of villains in the past. Went on who gave that? Jim, is that a gift from producer Jim? We got to add this John Light. Of course, why do they always look like this? Another D-bag takes a shot, of course, at me, of course, in our record with the FBI. Why? Because the record is astounding. They don't want to actually talk about the numbers at all. They just want to talk about the insults because they have to personally attack. Remember, these people pretend to be journalists. I'm not a journalist. I'm a political opinion commentator. But here's another big. Why do they always, guys, every freaking time, why do they always look like this? Here's John Light. He worked as a producer for Bill Moyers. Oh, The Atlantic. He wrote with Helen Lewis. Another one. He wrote another shitty thing this morning, of course. Doesn't want to recognize our historic drop in crime, our public corruption arrests, anything like that. Double-digit increases in violent crimes against children cases, the reforms, the workforce turnover, the entire restructuring of the Bureau, FISA reforms. Don't actually mention substantive stuff as a journalist. Of course, just shit on people because you're showing that you, in fact, don't believe in the truth. You just believe in bullshit. It happened again. There was another D-bag this weekend. The pose. They always got to strike the pose. This freaking tool, what's his name? Brad something. Look at this guy. Look at this. Can you believe this guy? Here's another bag on this weekend. I don't know, man. These guys went in there. Nothing is happening, Doomer, too. Doesn't actually cite any evidence about the nothing that's happening that's already happened, of course. But just because they hate the fact that this show continues to kick all their asses. Look at every time. Here's the pose, the douchebag pose again. Yeah, you. That bother you? It should. You'll languish in obscurity as we continue to kick your ass. I know that bothers you. I love it. I love every minute of it. And the fact that we have these historic results, they never talk about. They just tell you nothing is happening and ignore the fact about what actually happened because in the past. They'll continue to defend, especially the liberal media goons that hate our guts, a failing, disgusting, grotesque record. I want to show you a couple clips of this. Quick break. I'm going to show you what I mean. Nobody in the liberal media who attacks us for our results will ever address their results. There was a cover to the New York Post I saw last week that you would think there'd be a reckoning in the liberal media that their big government socialist model sucks, is failing the very people it claims to be helping. No. The New York Post cover should rattle a lot of cages. I hope it does. Hey, have you ever thought I should really be doing something to protect myself from stalkers, scammers, and hackers, but you're not sure what? Well, do what I do. Go to joindeleteme.com/Bongino, enter code Bongino. You'll get 20% off. Delete Me. Delete Me. Delete Me removes your personal information that is being sold online. These days, so much of our personal information, I've been a victim of this, is floating around the internet. It's caused me a lot of problems, by the way. In the age of AI, that's a real concern. It's not hard to find this stuff. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I like having a service that does the hard work of finding and removing that information from data broker sites so I don't have to. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Bongino, enter code Bongino at checkout. Do it today. Protect your private information. That's joindeleteme.com/Bongino, code Bongino. Go today. All right, I wanted to show you this. Again, they hate the show because they hate the truth. Went in there, kicked ass, cleaned the place up, historic drops in crime, all this stuff. They'll never talk about that. Everything's personal with them because they can't get the stick out of their ass. They just hate this show. Here's what they have to go on, the lib media. So we're spending, $34,000 in taxpayer money, your money, in New York City to supposedly educate kids. It's a huge expense. August 8th, today's cover. New York City's 3rd and 5th graders fail basic reading tests with more than half not even proficient. They can't read. You're paying $34,000 to send a kid to school who can't freaking read. Less than half, look at this cover. Less than half of elementary kids can pass a freaking English test. You're paying $34,000 $100,000 a year. Al Sayed now wants that government model of failure. They can't read, folks. Look at the data in the New York Post piece. What the are you paying for? Al Sayed wants to take your money and apply this model to healthcare, where you have to call a government bureaucrat to get your freaking chest cracked open. Well, how about they apply 57% of third graders can't read, failed to make the grade. How about you apply that to heart surgery? They're going to tell you, Justin, pay the government. The government's going to manage your health care. You can't keep your plan anymore. Obama was lying to you, which they were the whole time, by the way, because this is what they wanted. But you have a 43% chance you'll live in your heart surgery. You're not going to take those odds. Why would you take those odds in public education? Because you believe bullshitters like Al Sayed, who only wants your money. Here's another one I saw this weekend. Why these liberal media people cannot stand this show. They cannot stop with the personal attacks are so indicative of your emotional fixation, not on facts, but on me and other truth tellers out there. You would think at some point you'd be like, maybe we should actually show some results ourselves. Here's Margaret Brennan, probably, I think at this point, can we all agree, guys, the worst weekend host on a weekend cable show. There's no one worse. Margaret Brennan is such a hack. How this woman still has a job, I don't know. She's been humiliated, embarrassed over and over. Remember J.D. Vance with her? Do you hear yourself, Margaret? Like, these people are just, the self-flagellation and humiliation routine they go through every weekend is embarrassing. We just had this massive hearing with Fauci and others. The FBI has an active case. There have already been indictments on the COVID thing. I thought nothing was happening. You're just stupid. You don't read the news. I can't help you anymore. I'm sorry. You can look it up yourself. All of this stuff is going on. And instead of Margaret Brennan, who has Jay Bhattacharya on, who was one of the Barrington Declaration backers that were right about social distancing, masks, segregating the sick and not imposing shutdowns and everyone else. You would think she would have him on and be like, wow, you guys were really ahead of the COVID curve on information. No, she takes an opportunity for basically 2 straight minutes to just attack the guy because they cannot get out of their own way on the Russia hoax, on the COVID BS, the mask BS, the vaccine BS. These are not serious people. It's only personal attacks with them. They don't have anything else. Check this out.
This is 1 year since that horrific shooting at CDC headquarters. The shooter was motivated by misinformation about the COVID vaccine. That is why he shot over 100 bullets into the windows of the CDC. Is enough being done to counter this kind of misinformation?
I think the shooter did was horrific. And I think you could talk about why shooters do things, but really fundamentally.
Well, his father said he was brainwashed about the COVID vaccine and thought it was making him suicidal. That's what
Margaret, the thing is like to talk about the shooter puts the emphasis on somebody who's, I think we shouldn't be putting our emphasis on.
No, I am on misinformation about vaccines.
I think the key thing is there's a loss of public trust in public health that happened in part because of a lot of, frankly, even on this network and on other networks, there was a particular single point of view put across during the COVID pandemic about how, that led to things that really did cause harm to people. The school closures is probably the number one thing.
This is not a productive line of claims. We covered COVID in depth on this program like no other Sunday show did.
I'm not blaming you specifically. What I'm saying is, you want to talk about misinformation. The kinds of decisions and sort of the public sort of face of public health during the pandemic led to many people losing trust in public health.
The Trump administration officials.
This folks. I don't even Margaret Brett. Why, Mags? I don't understand. Can you engage in a cranial rectotomy and remove your head from your own ass for a minute and just see how stupid you look? There was no bigger proponent of the failed lockdown strategy, the failed masking strategy, the failed social distancing strategy, the failed vaccine strategy. No bigger proponent than liberal media outlets. It's all been exposed. The lab leak cover-up, all of that was on the left-wing media. For those of you expecting some reconciliation moment where the liberal media is going to wake up and go, hey, we lied to you about all that stuff. We lied to you about the Russia hoax. We lied to you about all that stuff. It is never going to happen. They are fully invested in personally attacking anyone who produces results and moves people towards that true north direction. Anyone. Again, it's why we're always public enemy number one. And folks, there's going to be a huge reckoning in academia too. Did you see this tweet? This is, I never cite your education dispensation for a moment. I did graduate school twice. The only reason I bring that up is because the dissertation and the PhD dissertation, it's not everywhere, but in a lot of these spaces, especially the social science space, if you think a bunch of PhD professors reviewing a dissertation or reading every word of it, not in all cases, but in a lot of them, you're crazy. They're probably leaving it to their grad students. It's like a court clerk or, a court, someone working for like a justice, and they're not going to get to read every second. So they get briefs, friends of the court stuff. Bottom line is the humanities PhD plagiarism apocalypse is coming, as this guy Saul Sotka says. That Jason Arday case we showed you last week, where this guy gets this Oxford professorship, and it turns out his life story is a little bit suspect. The shaman, Amazon princess or whatever told me just look, the story's crazy. Guy notes in his piece, like, if you just read his dissertation, in his case, his doctoral advisors clearly didn't. He says someone soon is going to set AI on millions of these dissertations written in the humanities spaces, and some will read them for the first time, and a list of all the plagiarists going back a century will be spat out. It will be a massacre of reputations. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first from Saul. He is 100% correct. When you go to these urban studies, women's studies departments, and all of these humanities fields, a lot of social sciences and things like that, a lot of this stuff that's been written is total bullshit. And not only is it's plagiarized BS. And when AI goes wild on this, he is 100% correct. This guy is the first in a long line of people whose reputations are going to be destroyed. All right, a couple more things I want to get to. Yeah, look at this. You got to see this thing about the students, teachers to read the tweet. I don't even want to go into the whole thing. It's strange. Arday's this. I know what it is. And when you see just check out the tweet, you'll see more. I want to get to this. It's important. Folks, someone who used to work here, we had him on the show. Michael Alfonso is running for Congress in Wisconsin. He's been busting his ass, been doing a great job in the campaign trail. Listen, I know what that's like. Unlike the doomers and grifters and bums who are constantly lobbing personal bullshit at this show, it's another thing to go out there and actually do the work. All these people out there now, third party or whatever. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are talking the most smack, are never actually going to do it themselves. They don't want to do the filings because they don't want you to see where their money's coming from, and they don't want to go knock on doors. They don't want to go to the county fairs and shake hands with actual people. They just want to lecture you on a podcast. Well, Michael decided to go out and run, and I'm proud of him. And I know a lot of people are attacking him. And one of the attacks I found particularly bizarre was like, well, he was in Florida for about a year. Justin's like, yeah, no. For those of you who don't know, I live in Florida. Reminds me of that line from The Usual Suspects with Kevin Pollak. We can place you in Queens on the night of the robbery. Really? I live in Queens. Should you think about that yourself, or you got a team of monkeys working around the clock? Whether you vote for him or not is your business. But attacking a guy for being in Florida when his job was in Florida in the show is kind of stupid. There's actual video. You see, unlike we actually produced results. That's our studio. That's our studio that was the old studio in an apartment in my house. That's kind of a dumb attack. There he is right there too, helping us out. He worked for the show. And he did a good job. I'm sorry, man. That's just dumb. I don't know where you got that picture, but that's a good one. Right. There's the opening of the new studio. That's not a real attack, okay? That's the studio. Look, man, he's got to put little circles around him, too. It's like, that's just stupid, man. I'm sorry. His wife worked for us, too. Did you not know that? He's a Wisconsin guy. I think that's fairly obvious. Hey, one more thing I want to get to. I promised I get to at the beginning of the show. We got a bunch of guests for you this week. We got a pretty loaded guest roster, right? Who's tomorrow? Oh, Patriot Dad tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Then Vince Wednesday. Who's on Thursday? Daniel DiMartino, who eviscerated that socialist idiot on Fox. He's great. Good. And what, we have Friday too? Sean Farish is a guest on Friday. Why would we have Sean as a guest on Friday? Because we love him, but his show starts on Monday too, which is going to be awesome. Bongino.com/Sean, Sean with an H. His show starts at 1 p.m. Rumble.com/Sean on Monday Eastern time. Check that out. Join the live chat. We're happy to have him on our podcast. Everything's growing. Can I say this too? I won't say specifically, but you guys know there's more big news coming too. The grifters and doomers, posing guy from the weekend, Johnny Light at Talking Point Morons, and this tool, Sideline Stanley, throwing popcorn from the sides. I know this is going to upset you, but there's actually even more news about the show expanding. But the doomers said it was failing. Crazy, right? It's crazy how that happens. We have good news coming. I can't tell you what it is yet, but there is a dramatic expansion across platforms coming with this show too, which will, I'm sure, make the doomers, grifters, and losers crap their diapers. I can't help you. Have mommy clean you up. Get some wipies. You know, sometimes when Lucy goes outside and she takes a dump and it's particularly nasty, sometimes you got to clean her up. Have mommy clean you up like that too when you soil your diapers. I can't help you. I can flip you. Oh, I just can't help you. So you'll be needing a new box of diapers. But this is one of the reasons they really hate us. This is like, let me shift back to serious mode for a second. There's this Semaphore article about Spotify. Now, our video show is not on Spotify. This is like one of these other BS attacks. So for the Bongino Army, you'll see this a lot. Our video live stream is exclusive to Rumble. It's not a mystery. You can go look. Why can't I find the live stream elsewhere? Why, guys? Because it's exclusive to Rumble. The video show, the full-length show, is also exclusive to Rumble. So other platforms like Spotify that have video shows, technically, you know, we're only on Spotify as an audio show. So we don't typically like promote other platforms. That's why we do so well on Rumble, but not really hard. But of course, the doomers are. But Spotify is going to have a problem. This article in Semaphore is why live stream audiences, this one, being, you know, as big as it is, tens of thousands of people every day show up here. Live stream audiences are going to be the only path forward for this business. If you don't have a big live stream, you're eventually going to get smoked. Spotify, they note, this is an article by Max Tanney. I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's accurate in this. Spotify is terrifying much of the podcast industry with a tiny little widget. Last week, they introduced and tweaked their streaming interface, adding a feature that allows users to more effectively skip through parts of podcasts no one wants, notably ads, as well as promotions and filler content, as long as they aren't sold directly by Spotify. Spotify cast the move as streamlining a feature that already exists, the skip button, which is there, which users in practice often use to bypass ads. This is going to be a real problem for a lot of folks. The benefit of a live stream is people are there with you live. I am a free market enterprise guy. It's crazy because Tommy Vitor probably hates my guts too, but he has a very successful podcast on the left. He has Crooked Media. They do big numbers and huge money, by the way. We don't have to agree on ideology, but he understands the business like I do. Tommy Vitor put it even more bluntly. Very cool of Spotify to try and destroy the podcast industry. What a great partner. So our video, again, is not on Spotify. It's why we do well. We're a top 20 news show on Spotify, but we're never like number one or number two because there's no video there. It's a video platform, right? But if you're going to give your video and stuff to Spotify, give it to them. You're not charging them. And they're making money off your platform inserting their own ads. You could at least have the courtesy of allowing the host to monetize his business model so he can pay his team. I'm telling you, man, live streaming moving forward, if you're even thinking about the podcast business, it's going to be the only way. The only way. I had a dog video for the end of the day because I love dogs. I'm just telling you, but I couldn't find it. I sent these guys this video on Instagram. It was like the greatest thing ever. You ever see when these guys go into and ladies, they go into these dog adoption shelters and a dog catches onto them, won't leave them alone because they just want to get out of the shelter? I just described to you, but I couldn't really find it, so I'm really sorry. I was going to try to leave it. I don't know flags. I know dogs. Changed my life. You got a dog out there in the chat? I didn't think I was a dog person. I got a dog for my daughters, and now like the dog, I love this dog. It just sits on my. Your dog ever just sit on your? Like I'll sit down on the couch, just sits on my foot, like her head on my foot, like that on the mic. I love the dog. So I'll try to find some dog videos for you at the end of the week. We got a stacked week. We have to pick a comment of the day. Yeah, everybody loves dogs. Yep, I see it. The best. If you want to join our 1776 Club, how do you join? The answer is very simple. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is join the live stream. Every single day, we pick a comment of the day. You're entered into our weekly drawing. We pick one winner a week. What does that winner win? $1,776. That's it. We just like to give away money. We like giving it to our listeners. We like you being here. If you want to see the official rules, go to Bongino.com/1776. Our comment of the day today is, I learn it when you guys do, JPash714. Now we have not only a SIAC, SIACs are, the stupid is a choice, people. Don't be stupid. JPash714 says we have DIACs. Douchiness is a choice. Spelled the Dutchiness, but douchiness is a DIACs. JPash714. Email us so we can tell you how to move forward here. JPash714. I think we're going to steal that. We'll footnote it for you in the future. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to check out Sean Farish. He'll be a guest on Friday, but he starts his show August 17th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, rumble.com/Sean. You got Vince every single day at 8 a.m., the king of podcasting. He's on. Is he back tomorrow? Yeah, I think Vince is back tomorrow. Haley at noon, rumble.com/Haley. Please go to the web, rumble.com/Bongino. That is Rumble's website. It's free. Click that follow button. We would deeply appreciate it. Download the Rumble app on your smart TV and your iPhone, your iPad, your computer. It means a lot to us. It's all free. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it. And doomers and grifters, I'm sorry, man. Change your diapers. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
The news moves fast, but the truth should not get lost in the chaos. I'm Sean Farish, and this is Sean Farish Live. Each episode brings you the biggest political stories of the day, common sense analysis, sharp humor, nobody does a better job, everybody's talking about it, and straightforward conversations about the issues shaping America's future. From Washington to the culture wars, from breaking news to the rising stars in the movement to save our country, we will cover what matters most and why. If you're tired of the spin, the fake news, the phonies and the losers, and you're ready for informed, entertaining commentary that gets straight to the point, you are in the right place. Catch the show live on Rumble weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. I'm so excited to have you along for the ride. Thank you for your attention to this matter.